Welcome, fans!
Hello everyone, this is Alex. Welcome back to my channel. Today I had a live with the Boggleheads, and as you all know, we had a great guest, an unexpected guest, TOMNASH. It was a very good conversation we had with him. A lot of subjects came out: Tesla, Palantir, even everything money. He gave us many points to discuss on what he thinks of Tesla and all these hype stocks. I still believe our way is better, but it doesn't mean I don't listen to other people and try to get the best out of it. So that's the message that I wanted to give you before uploading the highlights for the community. Thank you for being here. Share, subscribe, like, and have a wonderful one.
The name Young Investors Club, it may have actually been an investing club, but then it got corrupted, and now there's a guy who's dedicated to options. They pointed to this one kid, and he was like wearing glasses, and he's standing in the corner.
Whoa!
Oh boy!
It is.
Whoa! Who invited a dog on our channel?
It's POGLEHEADS.
POGNASH.
POGNASH in the house, motherfuckers.
Tesla to the moon, man.
La Tesla! Sign up for my Patreon, bro.
Are you driving a Tesla right now?
No, I drive a 1986 Lada.
What the hell? What is that?
That is one of the greatest cars ever made, bro. It's a Lada Niva. This thing will go everywhere.
Hey,
anywhere.
Nash,
AK-47.
you're gonna invade Ukraine yourself personally?
He's driving his Tesla over to invade Ukraine.
Yo, hold on, guys. There's too many of you. I can't hear anything. Chris, can you pull up an image of Lada Niva 1986 and show it to the audience? I kid you not, this is the best looking car you've ever seen, bro. The technology in this car is the mud flaps. That's as far as it goes, bro. It has nothing electric, bro.
Oh, this is a sexy beast right here. Y'all are
bro. This thing it's like an AK-47. You cannot be destroyed, bro. You can go anywhere with this thing.
I thought you're a big Tesla fan, man. What happened to your? Why don't you buy?
Bro. Lada is the Tesla killer. I'm just gonna tell you outright right now. No chance, bro. This thing is the Tesla killer, bro. And it is. So I'll tell you a story, a real quick story. So when I'm an old motherfucker, bro. So when I was 16, I was at my buddy's house. His parents were away. And we got hammered, as 16-year-old kids usually do in Russia. So his parents had one of those Niva Jeeps, and we decided to take it out on the spin. And eventually we found this construction site which resembled an off-road track, and we went crazy. At some point, we did the whole track in reverse just to see if it can, and it did. But what was actually funny that his dad came back the next day, and they were having breakfast. And his dad was like, yo, the neighbors called me. There were some lunatics fucking flying around in the construction site right in front of our house. His balls were shaking because he thought he was about to get like KGB style called out. And nothing happened, bro. Yeah, he just checking it out. I'm 40 years old, 1981, motherfucker.
Woo! Wait, you're 40?
Yeah, I'm 40, bro. I just act like I'm 25, but I'm
you don't look 40
motherfucker, bro.
I did not.
You have very youthful looks. You know, I would think.
Thank you, sir. Like the dog years, it's not 40. In dog years, it's probably what, like. It's probably like what, 7, 8 dog years, bro.
So, am I the first guy to ever say that you looked like a pug? Do I get that honor?
No, I've never gotten this before. But what happened is initially when you said it, I was really offended. But then I went to the mirror and I was like, oh shit. This is right, bro. I was like, I'm making actual t-shirts with this shit, bro.
Hey, give me a cut of
Do it, man.
I'm gonna give you a cut, bro. If it happens, I'm gonna give you a cut. The thing is, I've never sold merch, so this might be like the first go round. I'll do the pug thing. But I did want to, on a serious note, I have to go in a minute. I'm doing a stream with Cyberfam in a second, but I'm driving to the office. It's night over here. So I just want to tell you something real quick. So I'm 40. So I lived through the 2000 crisis, 2008 crisis. And one of the companies I was doing my research on when I was in school was actually Enron. The whole SPVs, if you're familiar, the special purpose vehicles, where they flooded all the losses, they pulled up all the revenues from. So I basically know very intimately something that I think 99% of these new kids, like the tourists in the stock market, they don't know, which is what you guys are basically saying. In individual stocks, there's no risk-free or guaranteed shit at all. The only guaranteed thing is that you're going to die, you're going to pay taxes. Everything else is risky. Even a Tesla, even La Tesla, even any fucking stock can go to fucking zero. The people who invested in Enron, bro, in the 90s, Enron was the shit, bro. You guys, I don't know, Jay probably, and you, Chris, you probably remember that shit. That thing was like, it's like investing in fucking Google, bro. That thing is like a beast. And when it went down, it took with it in flames. So I used to work for one of the big four companies. You probably, Chris, you know the four: PwC, KPMG, EY, and Deloitte. So they used to be called the Big Five back in the day, and the biggest one of them all was called Arthur Andersen. And the Enron collapse was so big, they literally took Arthur Andersen with them. So that thing, when it collapsed, the aftermath was insane. So the one thing I will tell you, if you are an index investor, which is, by the way, I agree with you, Warren Buffett, something says, like repeatedly says that index investing is the way to go. In an index, there is absolutely 0% chance of you losing your money long term. It's a hack. If you pull up the S&P 500, you zoom out for 15 years, whatever, you cannot lose. It's like a cheat code in a video game. So it's impossible. When you go individual stocks, you gotta be prepared, like in a casino when you go and play. And it's a horrible analogy, right? Casino and the stock market. I hate it myself. But the mentality is like when you go, the reason I use this analogy is like when you go to a casino to play, you have to like mentally accept that you're going to lose the money. Otherwise, you're going to get crushed emotionally. And if you go for individual stocks, you got to embrace the fact that it might go to zero. Like I never think that a Tesla or a Palantir or any of the stocks I'm in love with, emotionally, they can not go to zero, bro. You know, I sleep at night like, oh, Palantir.
You know, I heard Tesla was coming out with dog food. Did you hear about that?
Dude, the one thing I will tell you about Tesla, there's every week, there's these idiots, bro, the Tesla phone, the Tesla spaceship, the Tesla dog food, like there's a lot of this nonsense going around. There's a lot of bullshit, a lot of hype. But the thing is, like, I'll tell you something else. I'm not going to argue. I know you guys don't like Tesla, and that's fine. In fact, I think value investors, classic value investors, Tesla isn't the stock for them. It's too fucking risky. There's too much, you're betting on too much potential if you're a value investor. That's why Warren Buffett isn't in Tesla. But the thing with Tesla is, having said all that, and again, not arguing, I'm not trying to convince anybody. The thing with Tesla, if you just pull up the Q4 financials and you look at the efficiency, the crazy efficiency that they're showing, the margins, if you pull up the operating margin and you look at how much it actually went up, it's 3x. Even with the stock-based comp of Elon, if from 5 to 15%, and if you just reduce the one-time items that was in Q4, the stock-based comp and the payroll taxes, it's like 18% operating margin. EBITDA has gone up. They're insanely efficient. You have to understand, like 1 million vehicles in the auto industry is nothing. 1 million vehicles, like look at how much Toyota puts up a year. It's really, with such a small number, they're incredibly efficient. They have a lot of cash, $18 billion in cash, if I'm not mistaken. Their cash flow is really nice. They managed to pull 2.7 billion in free cash flow, even after putting 2 billion in new factories. So I'm just saying that you might not like the valuation. You might say, well, this is too much to pay for a good company. But as a fundamental analysis, the company is fucking fire. You might say, well, too much of it is already priced in. That I can accept.
Yeah, but we're not.
Tom, I love Tesla, but not at this price. So do you reckon it's overpriced or?
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's overpriced or underpriced. The thing I'll tell you is that you guys like Warren Buffett here, and I also like Warren Buffett, but we disagree on certain things. You guys and I do. But there's one thing Warren Buffett also said, beyond the fact that index funds will make you rich. He also said that if you see a good company with good management and that executes, you just buy. You don't look at the price. That's also something. Also, on the other hand, I have this meme, Warren Buffett, the picture, and the text below, I never said this shit. So who knows if he fucking said it, bro? At this point, it's a deep fake. I don't know, bro. But all I'm saying is that I'm so impressed with Tesla. I'm so impressed with Palantir. I'm so impressed with Google, with NVIDIA. I want to be in those motherfuckers. And
Yeah, but how much? What percentage?
But not at this price, man.
dedicated
Come
to
on.
these
yeah,
stocks?
it's a personal decision. I'm not evangelistic about it. Like, I don't think that this. If you're a value investor, and there's nothing in it for like in it for you at the Palantir or the Tesla. It's just the volatility is going to drive you crazy, and it just there's too much upside priced in for that. But if you are a disruptive tech growth investor and you like living on that edge, that's probably a better fit for you. But it's such a personal decision. I don't know. Like, the thing is with PEs, PE is such a good metric to value companies. Valuing growth with PE is a little bit tricky because I'm not saying that it's completely wrong, but it's just a very limited metric at looking at potential. PE doesn't really give you potential. But again, it's like even the DCF, bro. Any sort of analytical tool has so much subjectivity in it. To be honest, we all like to pretend as if it's some sort of objective. There's so much assumption, so much subjectivity. I mean, it is what it is. But all I can tell you is that I don't think anybody can argue that Tesla is like, okay, Tesla Q will, but they're fucking idiots. But I think even value investors that are saying I'm not buying Tesla, they're saying basically what you said, right, Alex? It's just too expensive. But the underlying fundamentals are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of it is really priced in. Go ahead.
What you think about
Nate,
Tesla
go.
is true. Like,
I guess I'll say.
I guess,
Can you
yeah,
hear
this
me?
guy
Okay,
take
so-
it from.
Can you
Uh,
type it in the chat or something like this so they can read out the question, Nate?
Yeah,
Well,
Nate,
I'll
type
say-
it in the chat, Fabio.
Fabio, go.
Yeah.
So before
Also this,
he types in the question, can I ask you guys now? I'll read the interviewer for just a second.
Go for it.
I know that
Go
Chris
ahead.
hated my fucking video, or basically, leave me Kevin alone. I know you hated it, but it's okay, bro. I expected you to do it. This video was like 30% at you.
I can tell.
Yeah. But dude, that's kind of, I don't care. But I do care about what you guys think about my interview with Kevin, because in the interview I tried to be objective, but I thought I asked him some difficult questions. It's just, what do you guys think about his responses and the way he handled it?
Well, dude,
I mean,
here's
honestly,
the
I didn't watch the entire thing, but I mean, I've been
Don't
saying
lie.
forever that Kevin has no idea. I can't watch an hour and 20 minutes of that, but I've been saying all along he has no idea what he's doing, and I don't care that he sold all his stocks. I don't give a crap, but it just illustrates the point that he can't go on YouTube and have millions of subscribers and be preaching just irresponsible investing advice.
leverage, and then going against what you're saying. Look, these people, I did a video, you probably didn't see it because my channel's smaller than Chris, and it's basically
Chris, can you
about,
send me his channel so I can check it out later?
yeah. Well, and it's with the one interview with Amit, and this is where I completely disagree with you. It was not fair to Kevin's fans. People paid good money, and you look at the amount of money that you pay for his course. There is nothing that Kevin teaches that you can't find on a Boglehead website. And also, Kevin buys a lot of crappy stocks. So he says he's staying in the market. These people have come to rely on his advice. They paid him money. He turns around and does something completely different, which tells me he doesn't know what he's doing. So he's basically stealing from people. The guy's immoral. Like, I don't care. I don't care who needs to hear it. The guy is an immoral dirtbag. And I'm sorry if people don't want to hear that.
So Jake, can I ask you, did you watch the interview actually?
No, I haven't watched the interview. I try to limit my exposure to meat skin Kevin as much as possible.
Okay, so I'll tell you what my position is on this, and I'm not a Kevin hater, but I'll tell you what I told him to his face, and I'm very honest about what I think, even to his face. I told him, listen, I think the problem is that your analysis is totally valid. The way you explained why you sold out, it makes a lot of sense. We might not agree, but it's not illogical for me. It's not complete nonsense. Okay, I understand where you're going with this. The problem that I had is that same analysis was applicable a day earlier when you made the previous video where you said I'm staying. So none of these 8 factors that you pointed out or whatever actually changed in those 24 hours. So that kind of just makes me wonder what happened. And if this was basically you saying, well, I had a gut feeling, I had an intuition, and I felt like I had to do it, that's fine. That's okay. That's legit. It's your money. The problem is that I feel it devalues the value proposition of the course because you can't repackage and resell digital intuition. You can't sell that, because if that's not in the course and that's how you operate, and people want to kind of work like you do, it's the value isn't there. And I told it to his face, and he obviously didn't agree with me. He gave his response, and you can watch the interview and check it out. But I feel like it takes a little bit away. I don't think that, with courses, I'm not a big fan of courses. I have a Patreon, but I don't have a course, and I never will have, and never had. But I'll tell you what about courses and repackaging existing information on the internet and kind of re-editing it so it makes sense. It's kind of par for the course. Every course seller does that to an extent. I mean, there's very few courses where it's not just something that's, they go on. A lot of the shit is free, even some of the most expensive courses.
Well,
for nine, sorry, Fabio, go. I've cut you off.
It's okay. Well, I mean, I guess from my perspective, because in my personal portfolio, what I kind of do is I only do individual stocks, and then I preach that index funds are good for the average investor. But I want to start with first, mad respect for coming on here. By the way, I just want to say that.
Dude, Chris will tell you I'm a fan, bro. I'm in every video.
And then the other thing is, for example, going back to the Tesla thing, because I wanted to say that I'm a Tesla driver. I have a Tesla. I love the car. I like the company. I agree with everything you said.
FSD?
Sorry? Model 3. Model 3.
No, you got full self-driving beta?
Yeah. Yes.
And how is it?
It's good. It's good. It's very good.
Nice.
There's one corner that
don't have
sucks
FSD
at in my neighborhood, but it's good. I can film a video in the car one day, and I'll do it. I'll just just like do that.
Fabio, you bought a Tesla. We can't let you on anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest, but to be fair, it was acquired before I started making videos. And I agree with, I also adding on to what you guys are saying. That's why, for example, I started my channel. It's to add all the stuff that's already for free, but I guess it's not packaged, but I'm just going to do it for free on my channel. And that's what I do, and kind of share my work experience, and then showcase that on the channel and talk about different stocks, which I think you have the same or somewhat of the same opinion on Baba, by the way. But
I hate Baba.
What? Alibaba?
Yeah, I don't invest in the Chinese stock whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I think we come to the same conclusion for two different reasons, which is interesting, because I think you brought the perspective of like the USSR. But
for me, it's the reason I don't invest in Chinese stock, just in the sentence, sorry to cut you off, is because the risk is too big. The underlying geopolitical risks are too big to invest in the country.
Yeah. Well, I add a little bit also to that, because, for example, I can think you can discount the risk on international stocks, even with geopolitical risk. For example, one of my investments is Gazprom. I've held that one since about November 2020. Even though, there is the political risk of Russian government, right? But I think the price I got it, I was kind of pricing in a lot of that away. Okay. And then, for example, there are some risks, but I think a lot of people don't go deep enough into some of the risks and explaining it. But going back to Tesla real quick, yeah, I agree with the fundamentals. The fundamentals of Tesla are strong. They're growing, they're improving. But however, how much of that is priced in is where I come and disagree. But I respect disagreement. For example, I disagree with other people, and I'm fine with them on Alibaba, right? Because that's what makes a market. I'm invested in Baba for a short-term trade, but that's
if Baba is anywhere else, if Baba is in Taiwan, even in Taiwan, which is fucking on the brink of war. Yeah. If Baba is in any other country, it's a $300 stock based on the fundamentals, bro. The company is phenomenal in every aspect, even with the carving out of that financial business that they carved out. It's a fucking
financial,
beast.
20.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If Ant IPO goes through, we might not be having this conversation, because nobody would. This whole geopolitical analysis might not even happen, because everything was riding so smooth before that. Motherfuckers fucking replace Jack Ma with the bot, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what they did to the dude, bro. Who knows? But at the end of the day, what you're saying is what Jay said, and it's completely fair. Like, how much is too much as far as future potential priced into the stock price? It's a very subjective decision, in my opinion, bro.
Exactly.
Guys like Dave Lee, who I had on my channel yesterday, or even I think I posted it today. They see you don't want to hear his valuation. I mean, it's probably 5, 6x. I also have very high valuation. But again, it's you probably don't want to hear my valuation.
No, I
No,
Go
you
ahead.
don't want to hear it, man.
Evaluation.
listen, man. Look,
Tom,
Constructive
Tom,
conversation.
for me to have an individual stock, then it has to make sense fundamentally. And right now, Tesla is not there. I love the products. I love the company. I love Elon Musk.
Analysis.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
subjective.
everything is
It's
subjective. But in my subjective opinion, I don't have the fundamentals to acquire Tesla right now. But I love the company, and if it drops
I'll
down
tell you
to
how I
a
look at
price,
Tesla
it makes
without
sense.
the
Then I'll
price.
get it. And as for me to spin Kevin, then I actually
I don't
agree
wanna-
with Jay.
I don't
If
want to talk
he-
about Kevin because he's not here and it's not fair to him.
No, I'm just gonna tell you my opinion. My very fast. My opinion is that if he preaches something and he does another thing, then he loses credibility. That's all I'm gonna say
Yeah,
about
that's
Kevin.
fair. But you guys should bring him on. I don't know if he will come or not, but I'll tell you something about
Dude,
Tesla.
I would
look at
be
Tesla
more-
in a very specific. Hold on a second.
I
I'll
would
just
be
explain.
more than
I got
happy to
only
talk
2
to him.
minutes.
Yeah, I would be
I don't-
more than happy to talk to meet Kevin, and I would be polite with him, but
Yeah.
I would lay out all of my disagreements with him in honest form.
That's exactly what
it-
I said you guys should do in my video yesterday, where I said, "Hey, just
Yeah,
be civil
and it-
about it,
like
not
I said-
criticism, and just be cool."
Hey,
our channels.
Hold on a second.
My-
I just want to share a thought before I go about Tesla. Something really important.
I
So
gotta ask
when
a
I
question
have-
too.
Yes. Before I go, Nate, you ask a quick question.
Okay.
So when I look at Tesla, guys, look at Tesla again. It's not going to convince any of you because it doesn't solve your underlying issue with the stock, love the company, hate the stock price kind of argument, which is you can't argue with that. It's like religion or politics. It is what it is. But I'll tell you what. I look at Tesla and I look at hard demand, which basically means ability to raise prices. Check. Cash flow positivity up to wazoo. Check. Production capacity double on what they are right now. Already built in as far as the capex expenditures. Check. I look at growth. Check. I look at margins. So when I look at this company as kind of, does it have the chops to be like a massive disruptor in 10 years? And I don't see a reason why it's not. But again, you never, with individual stocks, you never fucking know. Bro.
Well, I mean,
You
look,
never
before you go, our main criticism isn't, we're not against speculating on stocks. If you want to buy Tesla, you want to keep it a small part of your portfolio.
First of all, it's called La Tesla, please.
La Tesla.
La Tesla.
Our main criticism of these YouTube channels is a lot of people just pump Tesla, and they basically imply that you should have it as a massive or even 100% of your portfolio, which is extremely dangerous. That's our main criticism of YouTube. We don't care if you speculate. That's fine. I mean, you totally can. But
Tesla is about 10% of my portfolio, and that's very high.
Yeah, but are you clear about that on your channel? Like, do you specifically say?
I said it in an interview a few days ago. I laid out exactly that multiple times.
Okay, that's not that bad, but like I said, you know all the people on YouTube that
Bro, I have something worse.
Problem. Holy crap!
I'm 40% in Palantir. That's much worse. Believe me.
Oh God,
that's insanity.
Yeah.
It's not even about Tesla.
Are you a hypester, Tom?
What, a hypester?
Yeah.
Are you hyping?
I don't know if you watch Everything Money, but that's Paul's new word for people that.
Oh, okay. So let me tell you something about this channel. There's this one dude and his two boyfriends, beta males, gimps who live in his basement, and they're like, "Oh, Paul, Paul, teach us, Paul." And then Paul goes through his fucking stock screener, pretends like as if it's some sort of an analytical investment tool. It's a fucking free screener I can get anywhere, bro. 8 pillars of garbage, bro. Fuck these guys.
Has everything?
But he has a system, man.
Targeted you? Like it?
But the system is just a fucking screener, bro. It's a screener. It's just you can't invest based on the screener.
But he says not to do that, though. In all fairness, Paul says just because this is an 8-pillar stock, and I ran the discounted cash flow and the free cash flow, and it looks like a buy, you still have more work to do.
But let me ask you a question. Okay, I want to ask you a question. In any of their videos, does it not bother you? They never talk about what the underlying business of the company, what's the TAM, what the company actually does. They don't even know half the stocks what the fuck the company is doing.
Because what they're doing, is eliminating stocks. Yes. They're eliminating. There's 10,000 stocks in the world. You have to have a metric to eliminate them quickly. I do the same thing.
He always says that you have to go and do your own research and and read 10
Everybody
case
says
cues and
that,
everything.
and it is true. It is true. But all I'm saying is this: it's a stock screener. That's you just define stock screening. You eliminate shit stocks by doing a screener. But the real research, the real work, the real analytical work starts when you actually dive into the financials, into the business model. You look at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities. You actually analyze the business, the total addressable market, the potential. Like the business analysis is like 60% of the work.
Yeah,
they
I
don't
know,
do that on their channel, but I'm bothered by that.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, is he has actually said that on numerous occasions. That once, if you think that stock is a buy, now's the time you got to go into the 10K and start doing the research. That's all they're saying on that. I'm not saying
I
to
wouldn't watch. For me, there's no alpha in somebody who's just showing me a screener. I can do that myself for free. There's plenty of screeners out there.
All right, Tom, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so the question I was going to ask earlier, I hate to like call super far back, but you said you coined a phrase that you think that Warren Buffett said about like if a company has good management, you should just buy it and not look at the price. You said that, right?
But then I also said that it might have. I never said that shit. You remember? Oh, you were not on.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments like commented on that shit too. I'm pretty sure you said that.
No, I did, but then I said that there's this meme that Warren Buffett. I never said that shit.
Okay, yeah. But basically,
never mind. Okay, ask your question.
Okay, the question is, this is something that Jay has raised. It's a really solid question that a lot of people don't have an answer to. Is, you know, while a company might be great because of its leadership, like you can believe in Elon, like I'm a big fan of him, but like what if unfortunately he passes away or he gets really sick? That's something that could really, really take a toll on Tesla, even if you strongly believe in its fundamentals and leadership.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest risks for Tesla and a lot of other companies. But key man risks, a company it's the same thing with, you can make the same argument for Palantir and Peter Thiel and Alex Karp. A lot of these companies that are kind of a one-man show or very close to that, key man risk is a huge, huge problem, bro. The thing is, you have to ask yourself this question. And again, I got really just 30 seconds. I got to run up and set up for my stream. So the thing is, you got to ask yourself a question: if this guy is a bozo or he's insecure, he's not preparing a succession plan that will keep the company afloat. But if he is a AAA executive who's secure enough to do that, he probably has a succession plan. So the question is, like, what kind of guy is that? If that's Elon or Karp or Thiel or whoever, I honestly don't know. I can just agree with you that key man risk for a company that's like Larry Ellison at Oracle, probably not a huge risk anymore because it's basically step aside. There's a lot of more like Microsoft isn't there anymore. If the further you go down the company's maturity, that thing gets eliminated. And because Tesla is still like a young company in that sense, they're only like realistically like what, a decade old plus minus. They're not there yet. They're not the level of the Oracle or Microsoft as far as, you know, it's not a self-sustaining, like, it's not like, you know, remember the movie Fight Club? And when the guy got it kept on going without him. Tesla doesn't have that yet. Yeah, Tesla doesn't have that yet, for sure.
Well, that also goes to for me, that adds to the risk, because I like the Peter Lynch quote: pick a company any idiot can run, because sooner or later, any idiot will run it. And that's one of the other factors in Tesla. But it's like I tell people, if everybody was sitting here buying Tesla at even maybe just as a quick metric, a 70 PE ratio, if it improves to that over time, I'm probably still not going to buy it at that, but I'm not going to look at you and tell you that's stupid. Where I'm telling people they're stupid is when you're buying Tesla with 1,000 price to earnings ratio, because that just creates more risk. It makes it riskier because if you don't hit the numbers every year, it's not going to work out.
The thing is, they kind of do, Jay, at least in the past few years.
I agree that they've done well for the past 2 years, but that doesn't mean that it's going to go out into the future. And this is, for me, in my thought process, for people, is if you even question the narrative, they turn into a bunch of cultists that want to kill you and sacrifice you.
That kind of echo chamber culture is never healthy for smart decisions. I'll tell you what. I really gotta go. I'm gonna be late tomorrow. Check it out. I'll tell you what. Just before I go, one last thing. So the thing is, with the Tesla, look, it's not the best thing that ever existed. I don't believe that. I just think it's a strong company with a strong management with an insane amount of upside. The thing is, so far, at least in the last 3 years, they kept proving people wrong, especially the doubters. Is there guarantee they're going to keep on that same level or even higher? Nobody fucking knows. People who pretend they do, they don't. I'm betting on the fact that, sorry, it's not a fact. I'm betting on the probability that it will, because I think it's more probable than not. But it's just something that not everybody should take as an investment consideration. I mean, you can make good money by playing solid investments. You can go, like, I don't do VT, I do S&P 500. It's a big part of my portfolio as well. So
yeah, but you wouldn't get an argument with out of me on that. I would be like, okay, yeah, that's good. It's just, what it becomes in the Tesla space is it's like, it just.
Do you think it's more probable than not that they will continue, or do you think it's less probable than not?
I don't think Tesla's going anywhere. To me, it becomes about the price that I'm picking up and what kind of growth I'm buying. And at this point,
stock price, they've baked in, 40-50% revenue growth rates going into perpetuity. It takes one quarter where those growth rates.
Guys,
you gotta look at the sector and the competitors, man. It's
guys,
insane.
after the stream, go and try and research. So my theory on this, I can't elaborate on this right now. Look at the margins they're going to collect on FSD. So assuming there's going to be a licensing, so FSD, when it comes out, and you have to assume execution, and they actually pull out the actual final product, which they haven't yet. So FSD comes out of beta. So you have to kind of guesstimate how much units are going to go to customers and how much will be licensed out to other OEMs, because there's really no other competitors in the market that level. Maybe Mobileye is the closest one, and even Mobileye had some issues because they got stuck with basically betting on lidars, which they themselves kind of admitting it's a mistake. But again, not to get too technical, because I'm not a fucking engineer, I don't fucking know. All I'm saying, it seems like there's a demand for the FSD if it actually is operational. So if they're licensing out, they're selling it to the customers, the margins on this motherfucker is going to be like 80%. It's not going to be.
What happens? What happens with this full self-driving? And I have doubts that it's going to be anytime soon, anyways. And that comes from reading Ray Kurzweil's books. But what happens the first time full self-driving messes up and kills somebody? The government comes in and it regulates it. And then you're not going to see it for 10 years at minimum. And that's a chance to be priced in. People keep saying
that's a lot of assumptions built into the sentence. There's just the government has not really proven to be very. I mean, you're betting on some horrific case scenario that leads to some regulation that leads.
I'm not betting on anything because I don't know. I'm just saying pointing out that this is a risk.
It is a risk, but there's endless amounts of risks. The question I ask myself is: this probable or not? And there's always this risk which you describe, but I mean, I don't think it's probable enough for me to not invest because of something that might happen. But again, I completely agree with you that for a value investor, you look at the P ratio I don't even know, like over 100, bro. No value investor will invest at over 100.
That's not the only thing I'm looking at. When you just take its most recent cash flow and you use a multiple of 20, you get about 56 billion, and then you divide it by the shares outstanding. You're looking at $45. Now, is that going to deter me if the stock price is $90? Probably not. But taken with every other metric I look at, like, this is just too far outside of the metrics I personally use to even consider it.
All right.
I hear that, man. I got to run, though. I'm sorry.
I want to ask you real quick before you go. What's the target market cap you think of Tesla? And I'm going to do a video take on Tesla. Just like
I said, it's a $1,500 stock today.
$1,500. All right.
You guys are not going to like that take.
No. I'll take it seriously. I'll take the next couple days. I'll do a Tesla video and pump it out the next day.
Yeah, just go crazy, bash me, bro.
Tom, thanks for coming in, man. Deep respect for that.
Hey. I was just gonna say, look, for the people who are like, you should have been rude to him. If Kevin came on here, as much as I don't like the guy and would tell him I don't like him, I would be polite to him.
I'm actually going to try to set that up where, I mean, I'll DM him because I'm surprised it was actually him. I thought it was a troll.
Yeah, well, I'm also going to say this. I respect what he just did there. That takes balls. Yeah. So, exactly. I mean, because there was a guy in there balls deep going, well, how come you weren't rude to the guy? Well, the guy requested to come on here. I'm not going to be rude to him. I will make videos mocking what I don't agree with, but I'm not mean for the sake of being mean, even if I don't agree with somebody. Came on, he was very polite to me. I'm not going to turn around and be rude to somebody in that situation.
You know, if Kevin,
it is called education, Jay. We have education.
Well, even that guy I'm going with in the comments that came on my channel, if he wanted to do another video and he agreed to be nice and consider points of views, I would still do it with him, as much as the dude annoyed the ever-loving crap out of me.